Hello, my friend. Today, I want to tell you a story that will change the way you see challenges in your life. Vera was just 22 years old when she lost her father in the forest. He was a guide, the best in the region. She had nothing after that. No job, no money, no hope. But today, she leads groups of tourists through the most dangerous mountain forests in Europe. This is the story of how nature and patience changed everything. Vera grew up in a small village at the edge of the Carpathian forest. The village was called Zelina, which means green in her language. Only 300 people lived there. Most of them were old farmers who grew potatoes and kept cows. The forest surrounded the village like a dark green wall. Some people feared it. They said the forest was dangerous, full of wild animals and poisonous plants. But Vera's father, Ivan, loved the forest more than anything in the world. He was born there. He knew every tree, every path, every sound. When Vera was 5 years old, her father took her into the forest for the first time. She remembers that day clearly. The sun was shining through the tall pine trees. Birds were singing beautiful songs. The air smelled fresh and clean, like rain and earth mixed together. Her father held her small hand. "Vera," he said softly, "the forest is not dangerous if you respect it. The forest teaches those who listen." He showed her a small red mushroom with white dots. "This is called fly agaric," he explained. "It is beautiful but poisonous. You must never eat it. Remember, in nature, beauty can be dangerous." Vera nodded. She touched the mushroom gently with one finger. "How do you know which mushrooms are safe, Papa?" she asked. Her father smiled. "You learn by watching, by asking questions, by making mistakes with someone who knows. Never rush, never guess. One mistake can kill you." Every weekend after that, they walked together through the green paths. Her father taught her everything. He showed her the golden chanterelles that grew under oak trees. He taught her how to find porcini mushrooms near old stumps. He explained how to read animal tracks in the soft mud. "Look, Vera," he would say, pointing at marks on the ground. "A deer walked here this morning. See how the tracks are deep? That means the animal was running, maybe scared of something." Vera loved those lessons. She filled notebooks with drawings of different mushrooms, leaves, and animal tracks. Her father was proud. "You have a gift, my daughter," he told her. "You see things that other people miss. This is important for a guide." When Vera turned 15, her father started taking her on real tours with tourists. She was shy at first. Speaking to strangers made her nervous. But her father encouraged her. "Just share what you know," he said. "People can feel when you speak from your heart." She helped him carry equipment and translate for foreign visitors. She learned basic English phrases. "Welcome to our forest. Please follow me. Watch your step. This plant is called wood sorrel. You can eat the leaves. They taste sour like lemon." The tourists always smiled at her. Some gave her tips. "You are a natural teacher," an old woman from Germany once told her. "You explain things so clearly." Years passed. Vera finished school. She thought about going to university in the city. But her father needed help. More and more tourists were coming to the Carpathian region. People wanted to escape from their busy city lives. They wanted to learn about nature, to breathe clean air, to find peace in the green silence of the forest. Ivan's business grew. He hired 2 other guides, but nobody was as good as him. Nobody knew the forest like he did. Then, one terrible December day, everything changed. A storm came. Snow fell heavily. The temperature dropped to minus 15 degrees. A hiker called for help. He was lost somewhere on the mountain. The rescue team was busy with another emergency. Ivan decided to go alone. "Papa, please wait," Vera begged. "The storm is too strong. Wait for the rescue team." But her father shook his head. "A man is dying out there. I know these mountains. I will find him." He put on his heavy jacket and took his best equipment. He kissed Vera's forehead. "Do not worry, my little bird. The forest teaches those who listen. I will be back before dark." He never came back. The rescue team found him 3 days later. He had found the lost hiker and saved his life. But while coming back, Ivan fell into a hidden snow pit. He broke his leg. He could not climb out. The cold killed him slowly. Vera's world ended that day. Her mother had died when she was a baby. Her father was everything to her. Now she was completely alone. The funeral was small. The whole village came. People cried. They brought flowers and food. The man Ivan saved came too. He was crying harder than anyone. "I am so sorry," he kept saying to Vera. "He saved my life. He was a hero." But Vera could not speak. She felt empty inside, like a house with no furniture, just cold walls and silence. After the funeral, reality hit her hard. Her father had debts. He owed money to the bank for equipment. He owed money to the landlord for their small house. Vera had to sell everything. The house, the furniture, her father's books, even his precious compass. She moved to a tiny room above the village bakery. It was so small that she could touch both walls if she stretched her arms. The room cost 150 euros per month. She had no job. She had only 50 euros left in her pocket. People in the village looked at her with sad eyes. "Poor girl," they whispered when she walked by. "What will she do now?" She should move to the city, find work in a shop or restaurant. Vera heard them. She felt ashamed. She felt like a failure. Every night she lay in her small bed and cried. She looked at her father's photo, the only thing she kept. "I miss you, Papa," she whispered in the dark. "I do not know what to do." Days turned into weeks. Vera tried to find work. She applied for a job at the village store. They said no. She applied at the post office. They said no. She applied at the hotel in the next town. They said they needed someone with experience. One morning, she woke up and made a decision. She would not give up. She would not move to the city and forget everything her father taught her. She would become a forest guide, just like him. She would continue his work. She would help people learn about nature and stay safe. But there was a huge problem. She had no money for proper equipment. Good boots cost 200 euros. A professional compass cost 150 euros. A first aid kit cost another 100 euros. Weatherproof jacket, GPS device, emergency radio. She had only 50 euros. What will Vera do now? She decided to start with what she had. Her father's old jacket. It had holes in the pockets, but it still kept her warm. His torn map. The paper was yellow and dirty, but the paths were still visible, and most importantly, her knowledge. Nobody could take that away from her. She went to the library and asked for help. The librarian, Mrs. Olga, "I can help you make flyers on the computer," she offered. Together, they designed a simple poster. Forest guide. Safe tours. Learn about nature, they wrote, student of Ivan Petrov. The legendary forest guide. Special tours about mushrooms and plants. English spoken. Affordable prices. Vera printed 50 copies. She put them everywhere. In the coffee shop, at the train station, on the church door, at the hotel entrance in the nearby town. Then she waited. Days passed. Her phone never rang. 1 week, 2 weeks. Still nothing. Vera started losing hope. Maybe people did not trust her. Maybe she was too young. Maybe she was not good enough. She counted her money every night. 50 euros. 45 euros Dutch. 40 euros. She was buying only bread and cheese. She needed to make the money last. Then, one cold evening in January, her phone finally rang. Vera jumped. Her heart was beating fast. "Hello?" she answered, trying to sound confident. "Hello," a man's voice said. "I saw your flyer at the train station. I want to book a forest tour for my family." Vera could not believe it. "Yes, of course," she said, trying not to sound too excited. "When would you like to come?" The man's name was Thomas. He was from Vienna. He worked in an office all year and wanted to show his children real nature. "We are tired of screens and noise," he explained. "My kids need to see trees, not just photos on Instagram." They agreed to meet on Saturday morning at the forest entrance. Vera spent the next 3 days preparing. She walked the route 5 times. She marked the best spots for teaching. She made notes about what to say. She practiced English phrases in front of the mirror. Welcome. I am happy to meet you. Today we will learn about forest safety. Saturday came. Vera woke up at 5 in the morning. She could not sleep. She put on her father's jacket and her old boots. She took his map and her notebook. She looked at herself in the small mirror. She looked young and scared. You can do this, she told herself. Papa believed in you. Now believe in yourself. She walked to the meeting point. Thomas arrived in a nice car with his wife, Maria, and 2 children. The boy was about 10 years old. The girl was maybe 7. They wore expensive outdoor clothes, clean boots, new backpacks, bright jackets. Thomas looked at Vera. He saw her old jacket and worn boots. He raised his eyebrow. Are you Vera? He asked slowly. Are you really a professional guide? Vera felt her face turn red. She felt small and poor. But then she remembered her father's words. People can feel when you speak from your heart. She stood straight and replied firmly. Yes, I am Vera. I know this forest better than anyone. My father was Ivan Petrov. He taught me everything. I grew up here. The forest is my home. Thomas looked at his wife. Maria smiled. Let us give her a chance, she said softly. They started walking. At first, the children were bored. They complained. This is boring, the boy said. I want to go back and play games on my tablet. But Vera had a plan. She stopped at a tall oak tree. Do you want to hear a secret? She asked mysteriously. The children looked up. This tree is 300 years old. That means it was alive when your great-great-great-grandfather was born. If this tree could talk, what stories would it tell? The boy thought about it. That is cool, he admitted. Can trees really live that long? Yes, Vera said. And look here. She showed them deep marks on the bark. A bear did this. He scratched the tree to mark his territory. This means a big bear lives near here. The girl's eyes went wide. A real bear? Probably not today, Vera explained. Bears are smart. They hear us coming and hide, but we can see signs that they were here. That is even more exciting. We are detectives following clues. The children loved this idea. They started looking for more clues. Vera showed them deer tracks in the mud. She taught them how to tell if tracks were fresh or old. If the edges are sharp, the track is new, maybe from this morning. If the edges are soft and broken, it is old. She showed them which mushrooms were safe. She took out her father's old field guidebook. The pages were worn and marked with notes. This is a porcini mushroom, she said, pointing to a fat brown mushroom under a pine tree. It is delicious. My grandmother makes soup with it. But this one, she pointed to a different mushroom, looks similar, but is poisonous. How do you tell the difference? She taught them the details. The color of the underside, the smell, the texture. In nature, details can save your life, she explained. Never rush, never guess. That is what my father always said. They walked for 3 hours. Vera showed them how to find north by looking at moss on trees. She explained how to find clean water by following animal tracks. She taught them the names of birds by their songs. Thomas and Maria were impressed. You really know a lot, Maria said. How did you learn all this? My father taught me, Vera answered simply. He said the forest teaches those who listen. You just need to be patient and pay attention. At the end of the tour, they returned to the meeting point. The children were tired but happy. That was amazing, the boy said. Can we come back next week? Thomas smiled at Vera. He took out his wallet. How much do I owe you? Vera had not even thought about prices. 60 euros. Thomas gave her 100 euros. Keep the change, he said. You earned it. My children learned more today than in a whole month at school. You are good at this, Vera. You have a real gift. Vera felt tears in her eyes. She tried not to cry. Thank you, she whispered. That night, she sat in her small room and counted the money. 100 euros. She could pay rent. She could buy food. But more than that, she felt something she had not felt since her father died. She felt proud. She felt useful. She felt like maybe, just maybe, she could survive. Nothing is easy at the beginning, she thought. But if you work hard and share your knowledge honestly, people will see your value. Over the next weeks, Thomas told his friends about her. 2 more families called. Then 5. Then 10. Vera's calendar started filling up. She bought a used compass from the market. She bought a better notebook. She created a simple website with Mrs. Olga's help at the library. She took a first aid course in the nearby town. The course cost €80, but it was important. The instructor taught her how to treat cuts, how to handle broken bones, how to help someone who was in shock. If you take people into the forest, you are responsible for their safety, the instructor said seriously. You must be prepared for emergencies. Vera practiced bandaging techniques on herself. She learned how to make a stretcher. From branches and jackets, she studied maps of the area and marked dangerous spots. Things were slowly getting better. But then, in March, she met Gregor. Gregor owned the biggest tourist company in the region. His company was called Carpathian Adventures. He had 5 guides, 2 buses, and expensive equipment. His tours cost €150 per person. He advertised in magazines and on television. One day he came to Zelena village. He was driving a new SUV. He parked in front of the coffee shop where Vera's flyer was hanging. He got out and looked at the flyer. He laughed loudly. "Who is this girl?" he asked the shop owner, loud enough for everyone to hear. "Does she really think she can run a business with torn paper and a phone number?" The shop owner, old Mr. Stefan, defended her. "She is good," he said. "People like her. She knows the forest like her father did." Gregor smirked. "Even was good, I admit that. But a 22-year-old girl, please. Guiding is a serious profession. You need proper equipment, insurance, professional training. This is not a hobby." He tore down Vera's flyer and threw it in the trash. "Tell her to stop wasting her time," he said. "If she wants to work in tourism, she can apply for a job with my company. I need someone to clean the buses and prepare lunch boxes." Word spread quickly in the small village. Everyone told Vera what happened. She felt angry and humiliated. Who was Gregor to judge her? But the worst was yet to come. Gregor did more than laugh at a flyer. He started a price war and called the ranger office about Vera. He said, "She guides people without a permit." Soon a car arrived with blue letters on the side. A tall man stepped out and showed a badge. Mr. Novak from the ranger office said, "Good morning. Where is your guiding permit?" Vera froze and felt her chest tighten. She said, "I do not have one yet. I am applying soon." Mr. Novak sighed and wrote in his notebook slowly. He said, "You must pass a safety exam and a first aid exam. Until then, no tours." Vera nodded and felt the world tilt a little. The next day, 3 clients canceled and asked for refunds. What will Vera do now? She did not cry this time. She walked to the library with a clear plan. She asked Mrs. Olga for books about forest safety and laws. She signed up for the next exam in the town hall. The exam date was in 4 weeks. 4 weeks meant no income and no tours. Will she give up? Vera used the empty days to study and to train. She walked the mountain paths before sunrise every day. She timed herself and checked each hazard on the route. She built small drills for future clients. She practiced these clear phrases out loud as she walked. Stay together. Keep to the path. Watch your step. Do not touch unknown mushrooms. Drink water often. We rest for 5 minutes. At night, she studied first aid and tied bandages around a pillow. She repeated the key lesson to herself like a quiet drum. Nothing is free. You must earn trust. The exam day came with cold rain and gray wind. The hall smelled of wet coats and paper. A serious woman asked questions about storms and snake bites. A medic asked her to show how to make a splint from sticks. Vera spoke simply and showed calm hands. She passed the tests with high marks on the same day. Mr. Novak shook her hand and said, "You did well. You listened, learned, and earned this." His words warmed her. More than tea, the permit did not solve her main problem. Gregor was still there with posters and buses. He cut his prices and smiled for cameras. He said, "We offer luxury and safety. Why choose a small guide?" People nodded and paid him. Vera looked at her phone. No new messages came that week. Her account ran dry and fear pressed on her ribs. She walked to the river and watched the slow water. She remembered her father's voice like a steady thread. The forest teaches those who listen. Never rush. Never ignore the signs. She asked herself a hard question in the quiet. What do I have that money cannot buy? The answer came like a small light. She had patience, knowledge, and real care. She had clear words that made people feel safe. She also had a story that touched hearts. She wrote new text for her website in simple language. Learn real skills in the forest. We move slowly and stay safe. You will speak useful phrases in English. You will feel calm and strong when you leave. She added a simple list for guests to practice before a tour. Say, stay close. Keep your hands free. Respect every plant. Ask before you touch. She made a short video with Mrs. Olga's help and a borrowed phone. She spoke to the camera with a steady voice. Dreams are not free. You must work for them. I learned to listen to the forest. I will teach you to listen too. The video showed her pointing at tracks and clouds. It showed her helping a child cross a stream with a firm grip. She posted the video and went for a long walk to ease her mind. The next morning, messages waited on her phone. A school teacher wrote to ask about a class trip. A doctor asked about a stress relief tour for hospital staff. A father asked about a weekend walk for his son's birthday. Vera asked them questions and planned carefully. She built a new tour flow that taught and protected. At the start, she always said, "Rules keep us safe. Repeat after me." Then the group practiced simple lines. Stay on the path. Keep distance from cliffs. Watch the weather. Speak up if you feel weak. People like the clear start, and they felt calm. Gregor watched and felt annoyed as reviews appeared online. He told his team to copy her format and phrases. His guides repeated the words, but their eyes were cold and their hands were unsure. People felt the difference and wrote about it. Business grew slowly for Vera, like moss on stone. Then came the third obstacle, the one that broke her breath. A spring storm hit the mountains with sudden force. The sky turned black in minutes. A group was on the ridge with her when the wind rose. Rain fell in hard lines, and ice hit their hats. A boy slipped on a wet rock and shouted. His mother screamed, and panic ran through the group. Vera felt fear rise like a wave, but she remembered her drill. She raised her hand and spoke with a strong voice. Breathe. Kneel near the hillside. Do not stand tall. Pull your hoods tight. She counted slowly from 10 to 1 and watched each face. She said the key lines one by one. We will move together. We will not rush. We will step heel to toe. We will stay 3 arm lengths apart. The wind was howling and the rain was cutting, but the group followed her pace. She led them to a small stand of fir trees and found a hollow place out of the wind. She checked the boy's ankle. It was swollen and hot. She made a splint from sticks and cloth and waited for the worst gusts to pass. Then she called the ranger office with exact coordinates. Mr. Novak answered and sent a team. While they waited, Vera kept the group warm with simple tasks. She said, rub your hands, share a scarf, sip water, think of a warm place. Her own hands were shaking, but her voice stayed calm. The rescue team arrived after an hour that felt like a day. They praised her fast thinking and safe choices. Back in the village, the boy's mother hugged her and said, "You saved us. You did not just guide us. You carried our fear." The storm destroyed more than comfort that week. It broke a bridge and blocked 2 trails with fallen trees. Worse, water leaked into Vera's small office and soaked her maps and books. Her father's notes wrinkled and bled ink like tears. She sat on the floor and pressed the papers flat with her palms. This, she thought, is my catastrophe. She felt the urge to quit and sell what was left. How can I survive this? The next morning, she woke with a fierce calm. She took photos of the damage for insurance. She dried each map on clean towels. She copied her father's notes into a new notebook by hand until midnight. She made a plan to rebuild what she could and to ask for help where she must. She went to Mr. Steffen's shop and asked for a short loan. He nodded and said, "You earned our trust. Take what you need and pay me when you can." She thanked him with wet eyes and a steady voice. The fourth obstacle came with a face and a smile. Gregor returned with new posters and new tricks. He bought ads that used her phrases and even her photo in a shadowed way. He told a reporter that small guides were unsafe and untrained. He sent 2 fake clients to her tour who tried to lead others off the path. When Vera stopped them, one shouted, "She is rude. She is not a real guide." People frowned, and the day turned tense. What will Vera do now? She felt anger rise, but she remembered her father's steady rules. She gathered the group and spoke with clear, firm words. "Our rules keep us safe. We do not leave the path. We do not split the group. We respect guide decisions. That is how we protect each other." Then she turned to the troublemakers and said, "This tour is not for you. Please leave now." They left in a storm of words. Later, 2 women from the group came to her and said, "Thank you for protecting us." That night, Vera wrote a letter to the ranger office and the local paper. She told the truth and asked for fair checks on all companies. Mr. Novak began surprise inspections on every guide, including her. She welcomed them with a calm smile. Gregor's team failed 2 checks for bad first aid kits and poor route plans. Fines followed, and rumors grew. For a week, he hid his anger behind a polite mouth, but his eyes showed ice. The 5th and final obstacle was inside her all along. Doubt grew like fog in her chest. She woke at night and stared at the ceiling. She asked herself, "What if I am not enough? What if this is all luck?" The fear was quiet and heavy. It did not shout like storms or rivals. It whispered. She felt tired of fighting and tired of being brave. One dawn, she walked to the old oak tree where her father once placed her hand on bark. She pressed her forehead to the trunk and breathed in the smell of rain and wood. She spoke out loud to the quiet green world. "I will not rush. I will not ignore the signs. I still believe the forest teaches those who listen." She waited for some answer, but only a bird sang and a leaf fell on her shoulder. It was enough. She returned with a clear mind and drew up a new plan for the season. She decided to launch a family safety month with lower prices and deep learning. She created focused modules with simple names that people could trust. Find water safely, make a small fire, rid the sky, first aid basics, mushroom wisdom for families. Each module had short lines to say and repeat. She stood with a group and said, "Repeat after me." They answered in steady voices. "Keep to the path. Ask before you eat. Share your water. Help the slowest walker. Say if you feel cold." The program worked because it was true and simple. Parents cried when shy children raised a hand and led a line. Older hikers smiled when they learned a new knot with rough fingers. A local teacher said, "You made safety feel kind." Reviews grew like a bright net across the region. A radio host called and asked her to speak about safe hiking. A small grant arrived for nature education in rural schools. Vera hired 2 assistants and trained them with care. They practiced calm voice, open hands, and eyes that watched every foot and face. She repeated the key lesson daily in many forms. Nothing good is given. We earn safety, step by step. Nothing free lasts. We build skill with work and time. You cannot buy wisdom. You practice and you earn it. Success is not a gift. You shape it with patient hands. Remember, in the forest and in life, we earn our way. One afternoon, Gregor came to her office alone. His smile was thin and tired. He looked at the dried maps and the clean shelves. He looked at a photo of Vera with a school group holding small compasses. He said, "You won the hearts. I won the buses. Maybe hearts are stronger." Vera did not gloat. She said, "We can both choose better. The forest is big enough for truth and care." He nodded in a way that showed a crack in his armor. He left without a cruel word. Late that summer, a journalist made a long piece about Vera's work. The camera watched her teach a child to tie a scarf like a sling. It showed her pausing at a mushroom patch and saying, "We do not guess, we ask, we check, we wait." The piece ended with her sentence that held the whole road. "The forest teaches those who listen." It taught me to work, to care, and to earn every step. Her inbox filled with messages from people she would never meet. A mother wrote, "My son sleeps better after your tour." A nurse wrote, "Your calm voice made me breathe deeper at work." A man wrote, "I lost my job. Your story helped me keep walking." Vera read them at night and let the words sit like warm stones in her hands. When autumn came, she stood on the ridge at sunset with a small group. The sky burned orange, and the firs turned black against the light. The wind was soft and smelled of dry needles. She felt her father's presence in the hush between words. She spoke to the group in a voice that carried both strength and grace. "We started with little. We learned by doing. We earned what we have. The forest gave us lessons, and we listened." Then she turned to the camera on a rock and smiled. "Whatever your dream is, do not stop walking toward it. Repeat these simple lines when it feels hard. I will not rush. I will not ignore the signs. I will earn my way." If this story moved you, join our journey. Subscribe to English Waypoint for more stories that teach your tongue and train your courage. Let your next step be a promise you keep, one clear word and one honest action at a time.